Right. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to the show. My name is Angel Abundance. This is the Kryptonotik Crypto Nightcap. We're going to be doing this as a nightly kind of crypto news show. Just recap the news. Any major stories that may have broke that actually could impact the charts, maybe move price action one way or the other, and also be sharing some cool tips and tricks on different things, my opinions on platforms, on different wallets, different projects, new stuff that's coming out. I'll try to give you guys some alpha in any way, shape, or form I can. We will be talking about obviously the latest news that's actually happening for the day, so that way you guys if you may have missed what was happening, maybe you're doing something and you have a chance to just catch up at night. This is what we're doing. So I'm going to be trying to going live every weeknight at 8 p.m. Pacific. That's 11 p.m. Eastern. So that will be something that you guys can if you're a night owl and you don't want to get up early and to miss all those crypto updates and stuff, the crypto shows, then I could be the show for you. So that's what we're going to be doing. I'm also going to be talking about we're going to be going through the charts. I'm going to give you guys my perspective on kind of where I see price action going. I'm not a full on day trader. I do trade daily, but I wouldn't call myself a day trader. Like, I'm not, actually making a full on living of it. That's what I consider a day trader, right? Someone who's actually winning more often than they're losing, and they're actually living off of their trading, right? That's my perspective on it, my opinion. But I will be showing you my technical analysis and just showing you kind of where I think the price is going to go. I am not a full-on technical analyst, or I'm not going to. I don't know, I claim to be one. I'm only got a few years in this game, so I'm not as proficient as some of these out there. You have guys like Crypto Lifer and Crypto Jeb and Frankie Candles and Tom Crown, Jason Casper, right? Some of these guys that have been doing this for many, many years and have a lot of trades under their belts, and consistently are trading and winning, right? You see that. And so I would highly recommend that you guys follow those type of people and learn from them. Learn as much as you can from them. And anything that I can share that, if you don't know, any information that I have, I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to try to make sure that you guys are getting the best information from me. I study a lot. I do read a lot. I read a lot of charts. I read a lot of news. I'm always up to date with key things because I want to be informed for myself. I want to know what's happening so that when I'm executing trades, or I'm looking at where I think the market's going to go, I'm making the best decision. I actually have 20 years in the financial services industry, primarily in the mortgage and real estate finance sectors. I was an asset manager for 12 years, managing real estate foreclosure portfolios around the country for different banks and servicers and things like that. In fact, I was managing foreclosure properties before the 2008 meltdown. In fact, we saw it happening, and I was in the midst of it as it happened. And after the meltdown and layoffs and going from place to place, it was crazy. But I had some amazing opportunities working for some great companies, big companies, and then some hedge funds and things like that, and managing these multi-million dollar portfolios of real estate around the country, and traveling the country, inspecting properties, working with realtors around the country to sell these assets. And it was a great time. It was amazing. It's also tragic. You saw a lot of hurt people, especially during the midst of it in 2008, 2009, 2010. There's still a lot of people losing their jobs and whatnot, and a lot of these people, they weren't bad people. They just came across bad times. And there's definitely people that just took advantage, and they destroyed the homes and whatever, and they didn't care. But you had those heartbreaking stories where because after you foreclose on the property, people are still living there. You got to evict them and do all that so you can get the house ready to be listed and sold, right? So you'd have to hear the sob stories, and they're begging you to let them stay another month or whatever, because the husband left, he lost his job or lost the business, and he took off, and now the wife and the kids, and it's getting close to Christmas. So we actually used to do stuff like that, have moratoriums for evictions and things like that. Let's say a couple weeks, like the week of Thanksgiving, or let's say the last couple weeks of the year. So no one wants to be evicting people during Christmas, right? And we definitely don't want to be putting like the sheriffs out there evicting families and stuff. We weren't like that. But you heard these tragic stories, and it was tough. It was definitely tough. But I used to joke that I'm the repo man. And there's probably a like corner in heaven somewhere with, I'm gonna have to sit there for a while with the dunce hat on because of kind of the cold heartedness that I had to develop to, evict these people and hey, like, I'm sorry, you didn't pay, you gotta go. Like, that's how it is, just black and white. But you try to help people where you can. Um, but yeah, that's just a joke I have now. And then so after that, after about 12 years on the back end, what we call default servicing, managing different processes within the entire default servicing space, I moved over into the origination side, and I was working for one of the largest non-bank lenders in the country, second largest non-bank lender in the country, and was primarily working on software development. Initially got there and was working on a lot of process improvement initiatives as a project manager, analyzing the entire process, and then trying to find all these different efficiencies, right? Where can we automate? Where can we use technology to make things better, faster, whatever. Just try to improve the entire process and make things better. And generally, like, if we needed to maybe create a new position or remove a position and just try to remove touch points and try to increase better customer service, all that kind of stuff, and try to shorten the timeline, right? We were doing all those things. And because I was writing a bunch of the requirements of what the automations that we wanted, what we wanted tech to build for us, it made a lot of sense for me to just transition into tech. And then eventually I became a project program manager, and I had a team of project managers that and program managers that would basically handle all of the major initiatives for our organization, all the multi-million-dollar software development projects and a big portfolio of projects, building out the latest cutting edge, technology for digitizing the modern lending space, right? We were doing all kinds of cool, fun stuff. We were working with, the GSEs, doing pilot programs for digital verifications of employment, assets, income, all kinds of cool fintech things. Working for a great company. They got voted the Google of mortgages, so that was a cool thing, and we had a lot of fun stuff. But I got laid off actually last year in May, and been on my own trying to grow my own business, my financial services business, as well as a couple other organizations, a Christian leadership organization called Alpha Strong as well. And yeah, that's what I've been doing. So I've been teaching crypto and been teaching all this stuff for the past couple years as I've been doing it myself and learning, and it's been fun. It's been a lot of exciting times. Obviously, going through the peak of the bull market in 2021, the double peak, I should say, and then obviously the 2022 disaster of all of the different platforms, Three Arrows Capital, Voyager, Celsius, all that. I lost money on Celsius, or I guess it's still there. I might get some of it back. I don't know. We'll see. And then also the FTX collapse, right, in November of 2022. And since the beginning of the year, we've been on this nice little run. I mean, Bitcoin's back up to just around 27,300 right now. Got up to around 28.8, just shy of 29,000. I think we may have touched it on a couple of exchanges, but we're marching our way back. I have a feeling we may get a pullback back down, to around 25, probably 25 to 50, since that was a very strong resistance point before. So we'll have to retest that and see if that's good support. But who knows, if we break through that, when we can, go all the way back down to like 21, or maybe even get under sub 20 for just a quick little candle, right? A wick down. But, I have buy orders going all the way down from starting at like around 26.1 all the way down. So, I have a couple up through 25.2, and then I have a few more underneath that, just all the way down to 21. So 21,600, something like that. But that's me, that I just have a little bit of capital on the side in case, some good opportunities come in, and I'm going to swoop up some more Bitcoin. That's my plan. I am buying other alts here and there, little things, as I'm trading and making profits. I'm moving that into alts that I actually want to hold in this next bull run. So I've accumulated a lot of alts over the past year and a half, really. And I've rode some stuff down. I made some dumb mistakes. I didn't take any profits in the bull market of 2021. I thought it was going to go to 100, right? And I think we saw just a lot of manipulation and suppression, price suppression, I think, from people like Three Arrows Capital and Alameda and what Sam was doing and everything. So that's my theory. I could be wrong, but it just makes a lot of sense now, knowing what we know and how they were shorting a lot of projects as they were launching and things like that. And so, it makes sense that they would be shorting Bitcoin while everyone else is betting that the market's going to keep booming. And I think that's probably why we didn't see, the blow off top over 100K. And then that's why we didn't see a large altcoin season either. So anyways, that is my theory anyway. All right, so let's jump into some news. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen. All right, so let's show you here what we got going on. So to the big news today, we have the Safemoon hack today, $9 million. Okay, you can see here about $9 million. And I was on one of the spaces today with a lot of folks that were in Safemoon, actually worked at Safemoon. And what we've been able to see, including us from Safemoon Mark, what we're seeing is that apparently they deployed a new contract, and the contract had this function that allowed you to basically put any address in there and move the coins basically to the deployer wallet, something like that. And then so what they did is they began moving the Safemoon from the tokens themselves from the different liquidity pools, thus giving you different ranges of a bunch of BNB in there. So it looked like the price all of a sudden spiked, and then the hacker offloaded a bunch of Safemoon at a very high price to the tune of $9 million or so. But there's some nefarious things apparently. Some of the theories are that one of the wallets that was actually testing this functionality before the hack, and it actually happened to belong to a wallet that is known to belong to the CEO of Safemoon, John Caroni, and that was one of the wallets that was brought up in one of the lawsuits. So anyways, there appears to be some sort of something going on there. And there's also news that apparently in the transactions, as he's liquidating these BNB, he's leaving these messages, this hacker person or whatever, and it appears that potentially it may have been a white hacker that did this, because it appears that what he's saying is that he front run the exploit. So someone was actually going to run this exploit, and he had like a bot that would front run the order, and so he basically did the basic hack and depleted the liquidity so that the actual hacker wouldn't be able to. So he put a message, hey, if you want this money back, hit me up, and he's going to potentially give it back. Now, there's a lot of FUD out there and a lot of theories and speculation. I don't know, but I did hear on one of the spaces someone said that this could be some kind of actual plan from Safemoon, from John and the team, that because there's been a lot of downward price action, a lot of selling recently, and there haven't been a lot of buyers, there is potential that what they did, they hatched this plan where they would create a crisis, right? Drum up a bunch of propaganda. Safemoon comes in, they have supposedly this insurance on the liquidity pool money, supposedly, and supposedly the hacker wants to give the money back. And so this would prompt the community to start buying at these super low prices right now, because there are. But here's the thing, that exploit is still there. It's still in the contract. So they could potentially begin rugging a bunch of money from these liquidity pools, because if everyone starts dumping a bunch of BNB in there, right, they'll just drain the liquidity pool again. So that is some of the FUD potentially. I don't know if it's FUD or not, but that is some of the stuff that I did here on the spaces that could be going down. So I would be careful. I would not be putting any more money in this project. Okay, I had stopped buying Safemoon a while back, and it just so happened to sell some a few weeks ago. Right, I need to take some money off the table on a bunch of different stuff. I needed some money. I got laid off in May, but that's what I needed to do. So who knows, right? Who knows what's going on? Who knows if they actually did this or not? I don't know. But what I do know is you should not be buying any more Safemoon. Even if they've got the money back. Dude, this thing just got hacked. Okay, why would you put your money back into this thing? Like, if the money comes back, if it gets back to the liquidity pools, and we can get some of our money back, anything, I'm walking away. Okay, none of this diamond hand, this and that, whatever. Like, dude, I don't owe anyone anything. I put in thousands of dollars into this project, and I definitely didn't get my money back. So I've lost money. Like, and if I want to pull out because I don't want to lose anymore, then that's what I'm going to do. And I would encourage everyone else to be doing that, right? Like, we all believed in this thing. We thought it was going to be do great. It hasn't. It's underperformed. We never got the blockchain. We never got the exchange. We never got, all the things that they said we're going to build. And, we're still waiting. We got some orbital shield nonsense that was never on the roadmap. So, everything that was supposed to happen in the Gambia and blah, 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 this and that. I just don't trust anyone anymore. And with so many people that have left and the project over and over and over again, it just, you know what, man, after a pattern of that, you just have to say, you know what, maybe things aren't on the up and up. Maybe there is something there. Why would all these people keep believing? This dude is obviously someone that you can't deal with. People have a hard time dealing with him. He doesn't have apparently the best social skills. He's very manipulative, from my understanding. And I don't know the guy personally, whatever. But again, we put our faith in these people to do this stuff. And if they're not going to give us great service and actually be honest with us, and then we don't owe them anything. If we need to sell and pull out, then we should sell and pull out. So if you have money in Safemoon, I would not put any more money in. Okay. If we get some of our money back, great. But why put any more money into Safemoon? That makes no sense. All right. So who knows what happened? The actual thing, I'm sure the truth will come out hopefully in the next few days. But that is definitely something that happened today. $9 million hack. Does appear that it was because of the deployment of updated contract that had this feature in there that would allow you to put any address in there and move basically the Safemoon tokens. So that's what they did. They moved the liquidity pool Safemoon tokens and then leaving all that BNB in there and then raising the price, and they dumped and liquidated all that BNB. So who knows what's going to happen. All right, let's move on. Next story. I thought this was kind of cool. Actually, no, sorry, this one. Let's talk about Binance and CZ's response. So as you guys know, yesterday or the day before, the CFTC put out a complaint, basically a lawsuit, a civil lawsuit. It's really a complaint against Binance, against CZ specifically. And CZ provided a response, and he came out swinging. He basically said, "Look, we've been working with you guys. We've been trying to do the KYC. We separated the companies, right? Trying to do, Binance US, make sure that everything's on the up and up for all the stuff that the US was requiring." And then he says, regarding cooperation and transparency with law enforcement, like we've been committed, to transparency. We've been working with cooperation with regulators and law enforcement in the US and globally. Binance currently has more than 700 people in our compliance teams, right? And so they've been working with regulatory agencies and law enforcement and have handled 55,000 requests. And U.S. has helped, or they've helped the U.S. freeze and seize more than 125 million in funds since 22 alone, and over 160 million in 2023 so far. And then he goes on that, hey, we've held the highest number of licenses globally. We've done everything trying to work with all the different communities, all the different regulators. And then this part, right? They accused him of saying that he has like some sort of 300 accounts, right? Some sort of 300 accounts that he's been using to trade against, the traders on Binance, which let's be honest, on a lot of these centralized exchanges, we know they have the market makers. That they're trading against the people that are doing leverage and stuff. You see these scam wicks and everything. Who else would be driving those prices? Regular traders out there aren't trying to liquidate other people, right? The exchanges have the incentive to liquidate people because that's how they're going to get the fees when they, and that's how they get to keep all those trading, all the stuff that people leave on the table when they get liquidated. So it makes a lot of sense, right, that they would. Now, what Binance, though, what CZ says is like, hey, that's not me. I didn't do that. I don't have no 300 accounts. Personally, I have 2 accounts at Binance, one for a Binance card and one for my crypto holdings. I eat our own dog food and store my crypto on Binance.com. So this is huge, right? Because there's been a lot of FUD. And we had that huge day where they pulled out $6 billion of crypto off of Binance, right? When there was all that FUD going on. So right here, he's basically saying, hey, even I store all my crypto on Binance. That's how much I believe in it. Now, you can look at it 2 ways, right? Every time you see these people who, like Bernie Madoffs and the SBFs of the world and Alex Machinsky's, hey, everything's fine. We have all the money. Don't worry. Everything's great. You see these bankers, they say the same thing. You see the Federal Reserve, they say the same thing. And underneath, right, there's a bunch of shadiness and the money's not really there. Fractional reserve banking, all that stuff. So, CZ, I want to believe you. I really do. I'm truly an altruist. I want to believe in the goodness of people, but trust but verify, right? So until I see proof that he does have only 2 accounts and he has all his crypto on there, I'm not going to believe it. So at least I'll have some doubts, let's just say. And he says, so I also need to convert my crypto from time to time. I pay for my personal expenses for the card, right? So he kind of does say that Binance has an ID no trading rule for employees, right? So they have a bunch of policies and everything. So he kind of just lays it out and says, hey, all the things you guys said, I don't think, or basically I don't agree with, and this is why, right? We've been helpful. We've been helpful. We're trying to do everything the right way. Here's what I say about this. When you look at it, I think this is much bigger than just the CFTC going after Binance. I really believe that this has a lot to do with the turf war that's going on right now between the SEC and the CFTC, right? The CFTC, we already know that, Bitcoin and Ethereum have been labeled as, commodities, right? So the CFTC technically has, let's just say regulation over them, right? Like ownership to regulate them. Now, what the SEC has been trying to do is trying to say, no, all these coins and tokens, whatever, they're securities. And Ethereum, now that it's gone to proof of stake, is a security. And so they're trying to basically, take claim over all these things, because then they can charge them all these fees and everything else. And that's how the SEC gets rich, right? By finding all these people, right? They let them still keep doing all the nefarious stuff, and then they just pay the fees and the fines, and then, they'll just do it again, right? Look at what happened with Credit Suisse. They paid billions and billions and millions and millions and millions of dollars in fines and fees over the last 10, 12 years. And they, finally went under. So they're going to, man, these are cash cows, right? These organizations, as long as they keep breaking the laws any way, shape, or form that they can, right? This is why Gary Gensler doesn't want to give people clarity, because then he can keep people, in the dark, and he's like, well, yeah, you violated this law over here. And we're like, that was not even created, but I say it is now, so you got to pay up. That's what they're doing, right? So there's a turf war going on. So look at what just happened a few weeks back, right? Or about a month or so ago. SEC goes after Kraken, right? And they basically say, hey, you can't have the earn program, blah, blah, blah. Kraken pays a fine, move on. And then they go after Coinbase. Now, right, think about one of the biggest exchanges, right, in the U.S., if not the biggest exchange in the U.S., the one that's been trying to do everything right, going through all the regulations, like Brian Armstrong out there, greasing the wheels, right, trying to, rub elbows with the right people and all that stuff, and trying to do everything right. And, getting the licenses, getting approved. And then here comes the SEC, and they say, hey, you're selling illegal, unregistered securities. And so now the CFTC comes out, and they're like, come after Binance and says, hey, you guys are selling unregistered commodities, as well as doing all this other nefarious stuff. But why? Because I think if whoever, whether it's this SEC or the CFTC, whoever can get in front of a judge and somehow get some sort of precedent set by case law that says, yeah, it is a security, or yes, it is a commodity, then they're going to win out, and they're going to use that as precedent to basically say, hey, if the CFTC wins, SEC back off, this is our jurisdiction, we're going to take over, you have no rights, right? Or vice versa. So I think that's a lot of what's going on, but who knows? It's just a lot of fun. Look, the U.S. is going after crypto, so you just have to know that this is something that is going to continue to happen. They're going to keep going after some of these big players, and it is what it is, right? All right, so let's move on. I wanted to talk about this one. I like this I like this tweet. This tweet was interesting. It was a great perspective. So Warren himself, Nullinger, he says, what most people don't realize about Bitcoin, BTC, is that 1 Bitcoin equals 100,000 or 100 million Satoshis, right? Like 1 USD equals 100 cents. So you can buy into Bitcoin for as low as, an example, 28 USD, which would get you about 100,000 Satoshis. So stacking sats is buying some Satoshis every now and then. And I thought this is a great way of looking at it, especially for a newbie. I try to onboard new people all the time. I actually just got someone to create a wallet today. So I'm constantly trying to get people onboard into crypto. And this, I thought, was a great way of explaining to someone, about Satoshis, and especially with the Lightning Network and how the Lightning Network works. This is something that is probably going to come into our vernacular, and it'll just be part of, our culture. We're going to be talking about Satoshis and sats and whatnot. So, but this is great because you can kind of help them see, like, hey, you're actually getting a lot of it, right? You may not be able to get 1 Bitcoin, but you're getting, a lot of Satoshis. And I thought about, man, imagine when Bitcoin does get to be, let's say $100 million, right? One day, maybe 50 years from now, who knows? And then, basically 1 Satoshi will be worth basically like $1, right? and it will be super cool when we're basically all just dealing with Satoshis, and the Satoshi is basically the unit of potentially currency. And who knows? I don't believe we're going to be here that long. I think we'll probably wipe ourselves out or gotta come back before then. But that's beside the point. But I just thought that was cool. I wanted to share that because I think that's a good way of explaining it for newbies. And then I actually was this actually tripped me out because I was talking to someone. They're fully involved in the Hex community, and I don't own any Hex. I see a lot. I see Richard Hart. I see what's going on. I see with the SEC trying to crack down on earn and staking and whatnot. You notice he's changing everything. He's saying it's now called mining, and he started removing all his posts and stuff about flashy cars and jewelry and everything else, and changing some of the stuff saying be humble and this and that. So he's trying to change everything because I think he's trying to like remove some of the attention from himself because he is very flashy, right? But more importantly, my buddy was telling me like, hey man, like there's a lot of market suppression and they're trying to keep Hex down. They're scared of it. They know it could be Bitcoin, this and that. And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever. And he pointed this out. He said, look at the market cap of Hex. He's like, why is it number 201 on CoinMarketCap when it has a $12.6 billion market cap? And I was like, no, it doesn't. I was like, there's no way. And then so, of course, me, I have to just show this, right? So let's go to cryptocurrencies here, right? So if you look, I hate when it's like this. Let's go dark. So if you look right here, Cardano is around 13.1 billion. Okay, so it did go up because we were at 36, but now it's at 37. Great. Cardano's going up. Let's pump, baby. 10% for the day. That is fantastic. 9.34. Still only up 1.6 for the week. So, but that's great. I like to see that recovery. But here, so let's just say if Hex is 12 point something, it should be up here in the top 10. But if you actually go all the way down to 200, and let's go here. Let's see, 3. Look at 201. Look at 13.24 billion market cap. And I did the math, and I was looking. I looked on CoinGecko. I looked on Nomics, and it sure enough, everyone shows that they have this market cap. Why is it down here at the bottom? If this is supposed to be CoinMarketCap, why isn't it at the top? And then I saw these ones too, right? The Raptron, right, with these big market cap, 6 billion. The Wrapped Stake ETH, another 10 billion. And I think this one is because ETH, the price of ETH, right, or like the market cap of ETH is already captured in ETH, right? So that makes sense, or maybe even with Tron. So, but this is its own token. Why isn't it up at the top? I don't know. I just found that very, very interesting. Even like these ones, look, $1 billion, they should be somewhere near the top of the market cap, because if you look at here, the $1 billion market caps start around right here, like 50. So why aren't those right there? So I don't know. I just found that interesting though about Hex is that it does appear to be having some sort of suppression or some kind of something trying to keep it down. And I just I didn't know that, and I found that interesting, and it makes me wonder why. Why are they trying to keep Hex down? Like, what is it about Hex? I mean, I don't necessarily like what I've seen so far about the project, but I know everyone claims that Pulse Chain is gonna be pretty revolutionary supposedly, and it's got maybe like it should be out in less than 6 months supposedly from what I see. But interesting about the price, interesting about the fact that it's 201 when it really should be in the top 10. So take that for what it's worth. I'm not telling you to go buy anything. This is not financial advice. This is strictly for entertainment and educational purposes. Do your own research, and something to think about. And who knows? Maybe I might buy some. Maybe I might turn to Hex again. I don't know. It's making me wonder, why are they keeping it down? Look, I'm always for the little guy, and I definitely believe that there is something to be said for people that can fight. Like kind of like the David versus Goliath story, and so I do definitely like that. I think that's part of the American spirit. So who knows? Maybe we'll see Hex do some amazing things. We'll see. All right, so let's jump into the charts. I definitely want to show you where I'm at right here. Let me let me put the right application. So we're going to go to the secondary display. All right, I don't think it's showing it. Let me see if I can get. Oh, here we go. Duh. Oh, I had the wrong one. All right. So, actually, you know what? I want to see if I can get trading view. There we go. All right, let's get trading view up. There we go. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna move my guy down over here. All right, there we go. Cool. So, let's see if I can get trading view over a little bit. Let me make this thing full screen so you guys can see it. All right, there we go. All right, so I'm on the Bitcoin chart. This is on the 7-minute, and let's see where we're at right now. Let's go to the 4-hour, or actually let's just jump to the daily. Let's see what we see happening right now on the Bitcoin chart. And let's see here. So I'm gonna move. Oh, I don't like that. Don't move my lines. My lines are important, and I am gonna move this volume range because I don't want to make sure. I want to make sure you guys can see everything I'm seeing here. And so I'm looking at the daily, and I drew this line down, and I see it coming down to potentially like 26, right? But if you notice this trend line right here, that we're kind of we've stayed above it, or sometimes we bounce below it and then it pushes us down. But once we bounce above it, like, we're usually pretty good. So we've been trying to stay above this trend line, and it looks like, you know, we broke underneath it and we're just hovering like just on it. And I don't know if we're going to be able to break back above it, but it is hitting this resistance point of like 27,340. I had already drawn it before, so it's just like, it's amazing how it just kind of hits it in you know, exactly where we drew our line. So that's what makes me a little bit bearish. Okay, now if you look at the daily, you know, you got your stochastics, you know, it's coming down. It is about to reset, so it finally maybe making its way up if we can get it to start moving on the way up. But I have a feeling we may have a little bit more downward pressure. You can see on the MACD that it is in the red and kind of trending downward. So that's what makes me think we may have a little bit more bearish movement down, but I could be wrong. So we'll see. Now let's look at the 4-hour. The 4-hour still has room to move up, so we could stay above this line. So if you look at it as you get closer, it looks like we are above the line, but we are, you know, tapping against that 340 or 350 mark. So we'll see if we're able to break above that and stay above it. I think what we need to see is a candle close above like a good 4-hour candle close above 27.5. I think is probably where we really want to be at. And if we really can get, if we can get one above 27.8 or 27.9, I think we're in the money here. All right, so in the short term, let's see within the next 30 minutes, next 50, let's see what the 15 minutes has. And got stochastics trending downward. Do see a little bit of bullish, no, bearish. Yeah, so you see a little bit bearish momentum there. I mean, this thing is coming down. This thing's coming down. Kind of a little bit of a descending wedge. Maybe not ascending wedge. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, that could break either way. So it could come right back down, right? If we can't break above this thing and bounce up, but if the measure move, let me see if I can get in here. All right, get this guy in here. All right, so measure move, if we break up, I mean, could put us, let's see where we're at. Could put us at about 27.9 is kind of where I said what we needed to get to. So it could be, but you know, that could also break us down. Now, if it breaks us down, I mean, we're pretty much looking right back at 26.8, 26.850, something like that. So 26.825, 827. You know, that, like I said, it could break either way. You know, based on some of this bearish momentum right here, I have a feeling we may break down. Let's see what the 7-minute has. It has downward momentum. I don't know. Let's see where the 1 minute, it's moving up. 3 minutes, you know, resettings oversold. So it may have room to start moving up. 5 minute as well. That 7-minute though, Could bring us down, and I have a feeling the rest are, yeah, see, they may start trending down, and then leading up to the 30-minute, it could just break right back down. And let's see the hour. Yeah, and the hour's overbought. Or so yeah, we're probably going to start selling off. So that's what I think for the short term. Maybe sometime tonight it may dump back down. It could bounce off this point of control and then just come right back up. It may not make it all the way back down here, but I have a feeling it may come down. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So that's it for the show today, guys. I did want to just give you guys a little bit of precursor to what we're going to be doing on this show. Let me jump back onto the main camera here. All right, so again, this is the Kryptonotik Crypto NightCap show. We're going to be doing this weeknights. Again, starting next week on Monday. We're going to have everything fully set up. Again, this was just a dry run. We're testing this out. I'm going to probably do this for the next few days just to kind of work out all the kinks, get the segments right, start getting some of the graphics in place, and then we're going to be trying to do this every night, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern. And we're trying to be consistent with it and just be here every weeknight for you guys and give you guys the latest in the crypto news, give you guys my perspective on the charts, where I think we're going, and hopefully give you guys an opportunity to ask questions and maybe review some coins that you guys are interested in. So that's all I have for you today. God bless you guys. Take care. Peace out, everybody. Thanks.